This is physics, and it can either be game-changing or game-breaking.
Speaking of game-breaking, let's break Jerry's arm. Leg? We can add physics to any body part we want and can use this in several ways. For example,
now my friend Jerry here now has the ability to slowly get tired as he runs out of stamina. What the? Alright, let's fix that. There you go. This, of course, also applies to his combat, thanks to a little thing called physical animation, which is exactly what it sounds like, physics plus animation. So, I spent the past month implementing this into my open world RPG, and it brought some bad and some good. But first, we have to create a profile for each of my ideas. Now, what do I mean profile? Well, in Unreal we can make a custom physics profile and change some of the properties tailored to our specific needs.
damn.
Here is a comparison between a default profile and my custom hit profile. In short, I can make a certain body part move more physical, which gave me the idea of bone breakage, which would look sort of something like this, and here I could hit him as many times as I want. Bum bum bum. Here is an in-game example of my right forearm being broken, and how it would affect gameplay. Now, let's break Jerry's whole arm. What about his left arm? Spine? Right leg? So of course I made a custom profile for each body part, like hands and arms. And wow, look at that. As I was working on this, I saw this baby, and I thought, it's destiny. But it's only compatible with Unreal Engine 5.3, and I'm an old loser, and I use 4.26. So I'm gonna have to make my own, similar to this later. Not only that, I can also use physical animations for special occasions, like if a player were to eat or drink something unfortunate that would make poor old Jerry fight funny. Talking about fighting, I also wanted to enable this when the player was hit as a little knockback type of look, like this, We can do this by placing a boolean variable, which just means true or false, at the end of my collision checker, and we set it to true when it senses a hit. Then I can call and ask if it's true or false to my player character. If it's true, it fires the line of code, which should enable the physical animation profile whenever you're hit. And as you can see here, it doesn't work. Now, why? Personally, I have no clue. Added this print string at the end, so whenever the line of code fires, it should say something like hit, which it does, but yeah, again, I have no clue. But I'm fixing it, trust. Lastly, the tired feature you saw at the beginning of the video was made by simply getting the player stamina, and if it reaches below a certain value, the tired profile is applied, which looks a little janky right now, so I added a delay of 5 seconds before it moves back to no physics, so it can give the player little time to somewhat go back to a normal stance before the no physics gets applied. Now, I know what you're thinking, why don't you just have physics always applied? Well, because of this. I'm currently in the middle of implementation, but for a good reason. I plan to make this a pretty big feature in my game because it has the potential to be one of the most interesting mechanics I've ever seen. But obviously it has its problems, like when I'm climbing or swimming. So I'll have to be a physics master and make this perfect so it can look cool. On another note, one of you guys recommended me to add gear weight, which is also kind of self-explanatory. So the heavier items you carry, the slower you'll be. I did this by getting the player's speed and subtracting it by the amount of weight you have, therefore making you slower. So thanks for the suggestion. By the way, I have a Discord where you could suggest anything you want into the game. And if I like it, I'll not only add it into the game, but you'll also be in the credits. I'm going to try and add at least one suggestion per month, so join. I also added optimization for foliage such as mushrooms and other fungus that can be spawned randomly into the world. And talking about environment, lots of you guys gave me support and feedback on my last video. Bluer grass. Okay. How is this? Ooh, who's this, you ask? Well, one of you guys made it for me, and I appreciate it. I made a little update for my water, which none of you guys wanted, after my failed attempt at an ad, and one of you guys recommended me to make a Patreon. And this guy sent me a whole 100 doll hairs, which I am seriously thankful for. I'll save this for motion capture soon. Anyway, if enough of you are interested, I'll make one, but I kinda feel guilty not giving you guys anything in return. So I'll probably be giving out anything cool I make, starting with the water, cause it's really good looking, I promise. I don't think I'll make a tier above $10, so yeah, I don't know what happened in the future, but if I make anything, it would be in the description.
Next, I plan to add more things to the environment, like weather, more buildings, and a more interactive landscape. Also, I'm currently in the middle of making a dialogue system, and looking in how to upgrade my AI. Playing Hitman 3 gives me so much motivation, so stick around for more cool stuff.
On a serious and final note, I wanted to talk about the future of my game, Dawn. Last month was the most attention my channel has gotten, and it grew almost 3 times in size. So I wanted to thank you all. But unfortunately, in early February, I had to go to the hospital because my body is a dummy. Now, I won't go into full detail because I don't wanna, but basically I can land there anytime out of like nowhere, so I won't be able to work on Dawn anymore.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Nah, I'm kidding about the last part, but I'll be taking it a little bit slower now. Unfortunately, for my health of course. So I planned for this video to release on February 16th, and at the time of writing this, it's the 17th, and at the time of recording, it is the 23rd, so needless to say, I'm pretty far behind. Other than that, I plan to work in the shadows on all the bug fixes and showcase the final products when they're ready. So consider this like a part 1 or something. Anyway, I plan to revamp the landscape in my next video, so stick around for that. And lastly, I have a promise to complete. So I'm gonna remake the map one more time, so here's a time lapse of that. Other than that, sorry for the bad news. Epic Games, stop playing these games with me. You know you want me. And good night.
Please
subscribe.